Hello, 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 Internet. All right, hello, Internet. I'm trying to see if I can get some slightly better sound synchronization this time than last time. We learn as we go along here. Got a couple of live viewers, which is great, and welcome. Real Red Blue Talk is the name of this channel. I talk about how politics and government impact people's lives, and I would be delighted if you would hit the subscribe button down there, click the bell icon. You know how to do all that great stuff. This is meant to be a really dead simple reading of the Mueller report. So all I'm going to do here in our time together is read this. Now, there's already one recording that I did this morning. It was about 2 hours and 20 minutes where I got through the first 40 pages approximately. I'm going to do another one starting right now. Give me some kind of signal that this is looking okay. And let me know. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to get started. So we're in volume 1 of the Mueller report, page 41, and here's where he starts talking about the dissemination of hacked emails. So the GRU is one of two kind of Russian organizations that were involved. The GRU was basically the hacking organization, and then there's another organization called the IRA, which was like the social media manipulation organization. So I'm reading from page 41, section B, 41, section B of the section which is entitled Implantation of Malware on DCCC and DNC Networks. Here we go. Dissemination of the hacked materials. The GRU's operations extended beyond stealing materials and included releasing stolen documents from the Clinton campaign and its supporters. The GRU carried out the anonymous release through two fictitious online personas, DC Leaks and Guccifer 2.0, and later through the organization WikiLeaks. So, DC Leaks. The GRU began planning the releases as early as April 9, 2016, when Unit 26165 registered the domain dcleaks.com through a service that anonymized the registrant. Unit 26165 paid for the registration using a pool of Bitcoin that it had mined. The DC Leaks landing page pointed to different tranches of stolen documents arranged by victim or subject matter. Other DCLeaks.com pages contained indexes of stolen emails that were being released, bearing the sender, recipient, and date of the email. To control access to the timing of the releases, pages were sometimes password protected for a period of time and later made unrestricted to the public. Starting in June 2016, the GRU posted stolen documents onto the website dcleaks.com, including documents stolen from a number of individuals associated with the Clinton campaign. Wow, those headphones are starting to feel like a clamp on my head. So starting in June 2016, GRU posted stolen documents onto the website dcleaks.com, including documents stolen from a number of individuals associated with the Clinton campaign, appear to have originated from personal email accounts, in particular Google and Microsoft accounts, rather than DNC and DCCC computer networks. DC Leaks victims included an advisor to the Clinton campaign, a former DNC employee and Clinton campaign employee, and 4 other campaign volunteers. The GRU released through DCLeaks.com thousands of documents, including personal identifying information, financial information, internal correspondence related to the Clinton campaign and prior political jobs, and fundraising files and information. The GRU officers operated a Facebook page under DC Leaks moniker, which they primarily used to promote releases of materials. The Facebook page was administered through a small number of pre-existing GRU-controlled Facebook accounts. GRU officers also used DC Leaks' Facebook account, the Twitter account DC Leaks, and the email account dcleaksproject@gmail.com to communicate privately with reporters and other U.S. persons. Guccifer 2.0. On June 14, 2016, the DNC and its cyber response team announced the breach of the DNC network and suspected theft of DNC documents. In the statements, the cyber response team alleged that Russian state-sponsored actors, which they referred to as Fancy Bear, were responsible for the breach. Apparently, in response to that announcement on June 15, 2016, GRU officers using the persona Guccifer 2.0 created a WordPress blog. In the hours leading up to the launch of that WordPress blog, GRU officers logged into a Moscow-based server used and managed by Unit 74455, which is a military outfit within the Russian organization, and searched for a number of specific words and phrases in English, including some 100 sheets, Illuminati, and worldwide known. Apparently, 2 hours after the last of those two searches, Guccifer 2.0 published its first post attributing the DNC server hack to a lone Romanian hacker and using several of the unique English words and phrases that the GRU officers had searched for that day. Okay. 42. 43. That same day, I'm going to skip ahead here. Use of WikiLeaks. In order to expand its interference into the 2016 U.S. presidential election, the GR units transferred many of the documents they stole from the DNC and the chairman of the Clinton campaign to WikiLeaks. GRU officers used both DC Leaks and Guccifer 2.0 personas to communicate with WikiLeaks through Twitter private messaging and through encrypted channels, including possibly through WikiLeaks' private communication system. WikiLeaks expressed opposition toward the Clinton campaign. WikiLeaks, and particularly its founder, Julian Assange, privately expressed opposition to candidate Clinton well before the first release of stolen documents. In November 2015, Assange wrote to other members and associates of WikiLeaks that we believe it would be much better for GOP to win. Dems plus media plus liberals would, SIC, then form a bloc to rein in their worst qualities. With Hillary in charge, GOP will be pushing for her worst qualities. Dems plus media plus neoliberals will be mute. She's a bright, well-connected, sadistic sociopath. In March 2016, WikiLeaks released a searchable archive of approximately 30,000 Clinton emails, which had been obtained through a Freedom of Information Act litigation. While designing the archive, one WikiLeaks member explained the reason for building the archive to another associate. And here's his explanation. We want this repository to become the place to search for background on Hillary's plotting at the State Department during 2009 to 2013. Firstly, because it's useful and will annoy Hillary, but secondly, because we want to be seen as a resource/player in the U.S. election because EIT-SIC may encourage people to send us even more important leaks. There's a footnote here. It says, less than 2 weeks earlier, the same account had been used to send a private message opposing the idea of Clinton, quote, in White House with her bloodlet and ambitions of empire with hawkish liberal interventionist appointees. That was sourced in a Twitter chat group. Shortly after the GRU's first release of stolen documents through DCLeaks.com in June 2016, GRU officers also used the DC Leaks persona to contact WikiLeaks about possible coordination in the future release of stolen emails. On June 14, 2016, DC Leaks sent a direct message to WikiLeaks noting, you announced your organization was preparing to publish more Hillary emails. We are ready to support you. We have some sensitive information too, in particular, her financial documents. Let's do it together. What do you think about publishing our info at the same moment? Thank you. And that was footnoted to June 14, 2016 in a Twitter direct message from DC Leaks to @WikiLeaks. Around the same time, WikiLeaks initiated communications with the GRU persona Guccifer 2.0 shortly after it was used to release documents stolen from the DNC. On June 22, 2016, 7 days after Guccifer 2.0's first releases of stolen DNC documents, WikiLeaks used Twitter's direct message function to contact Guccifer 2.0 Twitter account and suggest that Guccifer 2.0 send any new material stolen from the DNC here for us to review, and it will have a much higher impact than what you are doing. On July 6, 2016, WikiLeaks again contacted Guccifer 2.0 through Twitter's private messaging function, writing, "If you have anything Hillary related, we want it in the next 2 days, preferably, because the DNC is approaching, and she will solidify Bernie supporters behind her after." The Guccifer 2.0 persona responded, "Okay, I see." WikiLeaks also explained, "We think Trump has only a 25% of chance of winning against Hillary, so conflict between Bernie and Hillary is interesting." And that was a footnoted to July 6, 2016, Twitter direct message from @WikiLeaks to Guccifer 2. And Section C, the GRU's transfer of stolen materials to WikiLeaks. This goes on and on and on like this, folks. Page 46. The same day the Twitter account Guccifer 2 sent DC Leaks a direct message, which is the first known contact between the personas. During subsequent communications, the Guccifer 2.0 persona informed DC Leaks that WikiLeaks was trying to contact DC Leaks and arrange for a way to speak through encrypted emails. An analysis of the metadata collected from the WikiLeaks site revealed that the stolen Podesta emails show a creation date of September 19, 2016. Based on information about Assange's computer and its possible operating system, this date may be when the GRU staged the stolen Podesta emails for transfer to WikiLeaks. There's a lot of detail. The WikiLeaks site also released PDFs and other documents taken from Podesta that were attachments to emails in his account. These documents had a creation date of October 2, 2016, which appears to be the date the attachments were separately staged by WikiLeaks on its site. Beginning September 20, 2016, WikiLeaks and DC Leaks resumed communications in a brief exchange. It goes on like this. Additional GRU cyber operations. Summer or fall of 2016, operations targeting Democratic-linked victims. On July 27, 2016, Unit 26165 targeted email accounts connected to the candidate Clinton's personal office. And then there's a redaction. Earlier that day, candidate Trump made public statements that included the following. "Russia, if you're listening, I hope you will be able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press." That was Donald Trump. And then it says, the, quote, 30,000 emails were apparently a reference to emails described in media accounts as having been stored on a personal server that candidate Clinton had used while serving as Secretary of State. Within approximately 5 hours of Trump's statement, GRU officers targeted for the first time Clinton's personal office. After candidate Trump's remarks, Unit 26165 created and sent malicious links targeting 15 email accounts at the domain redacted, including an email account belonging to Clinton aide redacted. The investigation did not find evidence of earlier GRU attempts to compromise accounts hosted on this domain. It is unclear how the GRU was able to identify these email accounts, which were not public. Unit 26165 officers also hacked into a DNC account hosted on a cloud computing service, redacted. On September 20, 2016, the GRU began to generate copies of DNC data using redacted function designed to allow users to produce backups of databases referred to redacted as snapshots. The GRU then stole those snapshots by moving them to redacted account that they controlled. From there, the copies were moved to GRU-controlled computers. The GRU stole approximately 300 gigabytes of data from the DNC cloud-based account. Then there's a section on intrusions targeting administration of U.S. elections. All right, how am I doing here? All right, let's keep going into section D page 51, volume 1, Trump campaign and the dissemination of hacked materials. Folks, if you're watching, put something in the chat box. Let me know. Or if you could share this out with other folks, I would tremendously appreciate that. The Trump campaign showed interest in WikiLeaks releases of hacked emails, of hacked materials throughout the summer and fall of 2016. Then there's a large number of redactions, which are continued on page 52. Redacted. On June 16, 2016, Assange claimed in a televised interview, quote, to have emails relating to Hillary Clinton which are pending publication, but provided no additional context. In debriefings with the office, meaning the special counsel's office, former deputy campaign chairman Rick Gates said, redacted, Gates recalled candidate Trump being generally frustrated that the Clinton emails had not been found. Paul Manafort, who would later become campaign chairman, redacted. Michael Cohen, former executive vice president of the Trump Organization and special counsel to Donald J. Trump, told the office, meaning the special counsel's office, that he recalled an incident in which he was in candidate Trump's office in Trump Tower. Redaction. Cohn further told the office that after WikiLeaks' subsequent release of stolen DNC emails in July 2016, candidate Trump said to Cohn something to the effect of, redacted. More redactions. According to Gates, Manafort expressed excitement about the release, redacted. Manafort, for his part, told the office that shortly after WikiLeaks' July 22 release, Manafort spoke with candidate Trump, redacted. Manafort also, redacted, wanted to be kept apprised of any developments with WikiLeaks and separately told Gates to keep in touch, redacted, about future WikiLeaks releases. According to Gates, by the late summer of 2016, the Trump campaign was planning a press strategy, a communications campaign, and messaging based on the possible release of Clinton emails by WikiLeaks. Redacted. While Trump and Gates were driving to LaGuardia Airport, redacted, shortly after the call, candidate Trump told Gates that more releases of damaging information would be coming. Redacted. Redaction. Corsi is an author who holds a doctorate in political science. In 2016, Corsi also worked for the media outlet World Net Daily, WND. Redaction. Corsi told the office during interviews that he must have previously discussed Assange with Malik. Redaction. According to Malik, Corsi asked him to put Corsi in touch with Assange, who Corsi wished to interview. Malik recalled that Corsi also suggested that individuals in the orbit of UK politician Nigel Farage might be able to contact Assange if asked if Malik knew them. Malik told Corsi that he would think about the request but made no actual attempt to connect Corsi with Assange. Redaction. Malik stated to investigators that beginning in or about August 2016, he and Corsi had multiple FaceTime discussions about WikiLeaks. Redaction. Had made a connection to Assange and that the hacked emails of John Podesta would be released prior to Election Day and would be helpful to the Trump campaign. In one conversation in or around August or September 2016, Corsi told Malik that the release of the Podesta emails was coming, after which we were going to be in the driver's seat. And then there's a whole page full of redactions. And then another entire page of redactions. Then on page 58, we start a new section that says WikiLeaks October 7, 2016, release of stolen Podesta emails. On October 7, 2016, 4 days after the Assange press conference, redaction, the Washington Post published an Access Hollywood video that captured comments by candidate Trump some years earlier, and that was expected to adversely affect the campaign. I'm going to take a break here, and I'm going to share out some information. Okay, I'm going to get back on here in a second. I'm just trying to tweet out some information, get a couple people to join me here. All right, there we go. Let me get back in the game here. Okay. So, where we are right now is page 58. There's a section called WikiLeaks October 7, 2016, release of stolen Podesta emails. And it says here, on October 7, 2016, 4 days after the Assange press conference, redaction, the Washington Post published an Access Hollywood video that captured comments by candidate Trump some years earlier, and that was expected to adversely affect the campaign. Less than an hour after the video's publication, WikiLeaks released the first set of emails stolen by the GRU from the account of Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. And then there's a redaction, another redaction. Corsi said that because he had no direct means of communicating with WikiLeaks, He told members of the news site WND, who were participating on a conference call with him that day, to reach Assange immediately. Corsi claimed that the pressure was enormous. Yep. Dinner's ready? Oh, I would love it if you could get me some water. Hook me up. Thank you. That's very thoughtful. I appreciate that. So, Corsi said that Corsi claimed that the pressure was enormous. I'm on page 59, and recalled telling the conference call the Access Hollywood tape was coming. Corsi stated that he was convinced that his efforts had caused WikiLeaks to release the emails when they did. In a later November 2018 interview, Corsi stated that he thought he had told people on a WND conference call about the forthcoming tape and had sent out a tweet asking whether anyone could contact Assange, but then said maybe he had done nothing. The office investigated Corsi's allegations about the events of October 7, 2016, but found little corroboration for his allegations about the day. Redaction. However, the phone records themselves do not indicate that the conversation was with any of the reporters who broke the Access Hollywood story, and the office of the special prosecutor has not otherwise been able to identify the substance of the conversation. Redaction. However, the office has not identified any conference call participant or anyone who spoke to Corsi that day who says that they received non-public information about the tape from Corsi or acknowledged having contacted a member of WikiLeaks on October 7, 2016 after a conversation with Corsi. Section E, Donald Trump Jr. interaction with WikiLeaks. Donald Trump Jr. had direct electronic communications with WikiLeaks during the campaign period. On September 20, 2016, an individual named Jason Fishbein sent WikiLeaks the password for an unlaunched website focused on Trump's unprecedented and dangerous ties to Russia. PutinTrump.org. Okay, it was called PutinTrump.org. WikiLeaks publicly tweeted, "Let's bomb Iraq. Progress for America. PAC to launch PutinTrump.org at 9:30 a.m. Oops, PW is PutinTrump, PutinTrump.org. WikiLeaks publicly tweeted, quote, Let's bomb Iraq. Progress for America. PAC to launch PutinTrump.org at 9:30. Oops, password is PutinTrump, PutinTrump.org. Several hours later, WikiLeaks sent a Twitter direct message to Donald Trump Jr., quote, a PAC-run anti-Trump site, PutinTrump.org, is about to launch. The PAC is a recycled pro-Iraq war PAC. We have guessed the password. It is Putin Trump. See about for who is behind it. Any comments? And again, that tweet is footnoted. Several hours later, Trump Jr. emailed a variety of senior campaign staff. Guys, I got a weird Twitter DM from WikiLeaks. See below. I tried the password, and it works. And the About section they reference contains the next pick in terms of who is behind it. Not sure if this is anything, but it seems like it's really WikiLeaks asking me as I follow them, and it is a DM. Okay, it's really WikiLeaks asking me as I follow them, and it is a DM. Do you know the people mentioned and what the conspiracy they are looking for could be? These are just screenshots, but it's a fully built out page claiming to be a PAC. Let me know your thoughts and if we can look into it. And that was an email, September 21, 16 email, Trump Jr. to Conway, etc., and the subject was WikiLeaks. Trump Jr. attached a screenshot of the About page for the unlaunched site PutinTrump.org. The next day, after the website had launched publicly, Trump Jr. sent a direct message to WikiLeaks. Off the record, I don't know who that is, but I'll ask around. Thanks. On October 3, 2016, WikiLeaks sent another direct message to Trump Jr. asking, quote, "you guys," unquote, to help disseminate a link alleging candidate Clinton had advocated using a drone to target Julian Assange. Trump Jr. responded that he already, quote, "had done so," unquote, and asked, quote, "what's behind this Wednesday leak I keep reading about?" unquote. WikiLeaks did not respond. On October 12, 2016, WikiLeaks wrote again that it was, quote, "great to see you and your dad talking about our publications. Strongly suggest your dad tweets this link if he mentions us, WLSearch.tk," unquote. WikiLeaks wrote that the link would help Trump in digging through leaked emails and stated, "we just released Podesta emails part 4. 2 days later, Trump Jr. publicly tweeted the WLSearch.tk link. Other potential campaign interest in Russian hacked materials. Then they talk about this guy, Henry Greenberg. In the spring of 2012, Trump campaign advisor Michael Caputo learned that through a Florida-based Russian business partner that another Florida-based Russian, Henry Okonyansky, who went by the name Henry Greenberg, claimed to have information pertaining to Hillary Clinton. Caputo notified Roger Stone and brokered communication between Stone and Okonyansky. Okonyansky and Stone set up a May 2018 in-person meeting. In their statements to investigators, they had contradictory recollections about the meeting. Okonyansky claimed that Caputo accompanied Stone to the meeting and provided an introduction, whereas Caputo did not tell us that he had attended and claimed he was never told what information Okonyansky offered. Caputo also stated that he was unaware Okonyansky sought to be paid for the information until Stone informed him after the fact. The office did not locate Rosin in the United States, blah, blah, blah. Campaign efforts to obtain deleted Clinton emails. Let's read this. After candidate Trump on July 27, 2016, after candidate Trump stated on July 27, 2016, that he hoped Russia would find the 30,000 emails that are missing, Trump asked individuals affiliated with his campaign to find the deleted Clinton emails. Michael Flynn, who would later serve as national security advisor in the Trump administration, recalled that Trump made this request repeatedly, and Flynn subsequently contacted multiple people in an effort to obtain the emails. Barbara Ledeen and Peter Smith were among the people contacted by Flynn. Ledeen, a longtime staffer who had previously sought the Clinton emails, provided updates to Flynn about her efforts throughout the summer of 2016. Smith, an investment advisor who was active in Republican politics, also attempted to locate and obtain the deleted Clinton emails. Ledeen began her efforts to obtain the Clinton emails before Flynn's request as early as December 2015. On December 3, 2015, she emailed Smith a proposal to obtain the emails stating, "Here is the proposal I briefly mentioned to you. The person I described to you would be happy to talk with you either in person or over the phone. The person can get the emails which, 1, were classified and 2, were purloined by our enemies. That would demonstrate what needs to be demonstrated." Attached to the email was a 25-page proposal stating that Clinton email server was, in all likelihood, breached long ago, and that the Chinese, Russian, and Iranian intelligence services could reassemble the server's email content. The proposal called for a 3-phased approach. The first 2 phases consisted of open source analysis. The third phase consisted of checking with certain intelligence sources, quote, that have access through liaison work with various foreign services to determine if any of those services had gotten to the server. The proposal noted even if a single email was recovered and the provenance of that email was a foreign service, it would be catastrophic to the Clinton campaign. Smith forwarded the email to 2 colleagues and wrote, "We can discuss to whom it should be referred." On December 16, 2015, Smith informed Ledeen that he had declined to participate in her initiative. According to one of Smith's business associates, Smith believed Ledeen's initiative was not viable at that time. On September 2, 2016, Smith directed a business associate to establish KLS Research LLC in furtherance of his search for deleted Clinton emails. One of the purposes for KLS Research was to manage the funds Smith raised in support of his initiative. This goes on for a while. In sum, the investigation established that the GRU hacked into the email accounts of persons affiliated with the Clinton campaign, as well as the computers of the DNC and DCCC. The GRU then exfiltrated data related to the 2016 election from these accounts and computers and disseminated that data through fictitious online personas, DC Leaks and Guccifer 2.0, and later through WikiLeaks. The investigation also established that the Trump campaign displayed interest in the WikiLeaks releases and that redacted. As explained in Volume 1, Section V, Section 5, B, Infra, the evidence was sufficient to support computer intrusion and other charges against GRU officers for their role in election-related hacking. Redaction. Russian government links to and contacts with the Trump campaign. This is a long section, so I'll read you the intro. The Office of the Special Counsel identified multiple contacts, links, in the words of the appointment of order, between Trump campaign officials and individuals with ties to the Russian government. The office investigated whether those contacts constituted a third avenue of attempted Russian interference with or influence on the 2016 presidential election. In particular, the investigation examined whether these contacts involved or resulted in coordination or a conspiracy with the Trump campaign and Russia, including with respect to Russia providing assistance to the campaign in exchange for any sort of favorable treatment in the future. Based on the available information, the investigation did not establish such coordination. This section describes the principal links between the Trump campaign and individuals with ties to the Russian government, including some contacts with campaign officials or associates that have been publicly reported to involve Russian contacts. Each subsection begins with an overview of the Russian contact at issue and then describes in detail the relevant facts, which are generally presented in chronological order, beginning with the early months of the campaign and extending through post-election transition period. So it starts out with A, campaign period, September 15 to November 8, 2016. In sum, the investigation established that the GRU... Oh, we got that, sorry. 66. It goes on to 66, 67, 60... Campaign period. Talks about the Trump Tower Moscow project. Between at least 2013 and 2016, the Trump Organization explored a similar licensing deal in Russia involving the construction of a Trump-branded property in Moscow. The project, commonly referred to as Trump Tower Moscow or Trump Moscow Project, anticipated a combination of commercial, hotel, and residential properties all within the same building. Between 2013 and June 16, several employees of the Trump Organization, including then-president of the organization Donald J. Trump, pursued a Moscow deal with several Russian counterparts. From the fall of 2015 until the middle of 2016, Michael Cohen spearheaded the Trump Organization's pursuit of a Trump Tower Moscow project, including by reporting on the project's status to candidate Trump and other executives in the Trump Organization. Then they go into Trump Tower Moscow venture with the Crocus Group. That was 2013 to 2014. So this had been underway for some period of time. In late communication with intelligence community, expert investment company, and Georgy Rashelazad, summer and fall of 2015. In late summer 2015, the Trump Organization received a new inquiry about pursuing a Trump Tower project in Moscow. In approximately September 2015, Felix Sater, a New York-based real estate advisor, contacted Michael Cohen, then executive vice president of the Trump Organization, and special counsel Donald J. Trump. Sater contacted Cohn on behalf of IC Expert Investment Company, a Russian real estate development corporation controlled by Andrei Vladimovich Rozov. This is a lot of detail here, guys. Crazy. It's getting crazy. There's a lot of recollections of phone calls in here. Talks about the origins of campaign work. It just goes on and on. Let me get to one of the summary sections here. All right. Here we go. Page 86. George Papadopoulos learns that Russia has quote-unquote dirt in the form of Clinton emails. Whatever Sessions' precise words at the March 31st meeting, Papadopoulos did not understand Sessions or anyone else in the Trump campaign to have directed that he refrain from making further efforts to arrange a meeting between the campaign and the Russian government. To the contrary, Papadopoulos told the Office of Special Counsel that he understood the campaign to be supportive of efforts to arrange such a meeting. Accordingly, when he returned to London, Papadopoulos resumed those efforts. Throughout April 2016, Papadopoulos continued to correspond with, meet with, and seek Russia contacts through Mifsud and at times Polonskaya. For example, within a week of her initial March 24 meeting with him, Polonskaya attempted to send Papadopoulos a text message, which email exchanges show to have been drafted or edited by Mifsud, addressing Papadopoulos' wish to engage with the Russian Federation. When Papadopoulos learned from Mifsud that Polonskaya had tried to message him, he sent her an email seeking another meeting. Polonskaya responded the next day that she was back in St. Petersburg, but would be very pleased to support Papadopoulos' initiatives between our two countries and to meet him again. Papadopoulos stated in reply that he thought a good step would be to introduce him to the Russian ambassador in London and that he would like to talk to the ambassador or anyone else you recommend about a foreign policy trip to Russia. Mifsud, who had been copied on the email exchanges, replied on the morning of April 11, 2016. He wrote, "This has already been agreed. I am flying to Moscow on the 18th for a Val-Day meeting, plus other meetings at the Duma. We will talk tomorrow." The two bodies referenced by Mifsud are part of or associated with the Russian government. The Duma is a Russian legislative assembly, while Val-Day refers to Val-Day Discussion Club, a Moscow-based group that is close to Russia's foreign policy establishment. Papadopoulos thanked Mifsud and said that he would see him tomorrow. For her part, Polonskaya responded that she had already alerted my personal links to our conversation and your request, and that we were all very excited about the possibility of a good relationship with Mr. Trump, and that the Russian Federation would love to welcome him when his candidature would be officially announced. Here's a section on Russia-related communications with the campaign. While he was discussing with his foreign contacts a potential meeting of campaign officials with Russian government officials, Papadopoulos kept campaign officials apprised of his efforts. On April 25, 2016, the day before Mifsud told Papadopoulos about the emails, Papadopoulos wrote to senior policy advisor Stephen Mueller that the Russian government has an open invitation by Putin for Mr. Trump to meet him when he is ready, and that the advantage of being in London is that these governments tend to speak a bit more openly in neutral cities. In April 27, 2016, after his meeting with Mifsud, Papadopoulos wrote a second message to Mueller stating that some interesting messages were coming in from Moscow about a trip when the time is right. The same day, Papadopoulos sent a similar email to campaign manager Corey Lewandowski, telling Lewandowski that Papadopoulos had been receiving a lot of calls over the last month about Putin wanting to host Trump and the team when the time is right. Here's a handwritten note. I'll have to back up a bit to understand what this is. Finally, Papadopoulos' recollection is also consistent with handwritten notes from a journal that he kept at the time. Those notes, which are reprinted in part below, appear to refer to potential September 2016 meetings in London with representatives of the office of Putin, and suggest that Fares, Clovis, and Papadopoulos, Walid, Sam, me, would attend without the official backing of the campaign. No official letter, no message from Trump. And then they show you the letter. Along with it, like a transliteration of the letter. Later communications indicate that Clovis determined that he, Clovis, could not travel. On August 15, 2016, Papadopoulos emailed Clovis that he had received requests from multiple foreign governments, even Russia, for closed-door workshops, consultations abroad, and asked whether there was still interest in Clovis, Fares, Papadopoulos to go on that trip. Trump campaign knowledge of dirt. Papadopoulos admitted telling at least one individual outside of the campaign, specifically the then Greek foreign minister, about Russia's obtaining Clinton-related emails. When interviewed, Papadopoulos and the campaign officials who interacted with him told the office that they could not recall Papadopoulos sharing the information that Russia had obtained dirt on candidate Clinton in the form of emails, or that Russia could assist in the campaign through the anonymous release of information about Clinton. Then there's additional George Papadopoulos contacts. Carter Page worked for the Trump campaign from January 16 to September 16. He was formally and publicly announced as a foreign policy advisor by the candidate in March 2016. Page had lived and worked in Russia, and he had been approached by Russian intelligence officers several years before he volunteered for the Trump campaign. During his time with the campaign, Page advocated pro-Russia foreign policy positions and traveled to Moscow in his personal capacity. Russian intelligence officials had formed relationships with Page in 2008 and 2013, and Russian officials have focused on Page in 2016 because of his affiliation with the campaign. However, the investigation did not establish that Page coordinated with the Russian government in its efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. And then there's some background on Carter Page. Part of Carter Page. It goes on and on and on here. National Interest hosts a foreign policy speech at the Mayflower Hotel. I'm getting exhausted. I got to take a break, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll set up a new stream later.